afternoon to all of you. I know it has been a very long day, very exhausting day. So thanks for all your patience. We have, it's around 4 o'clock now, 4 or 5. We have 40 minutes, maybe 30 minutes, 10 minutes for Q&A. We'll try to wind it up by 4:45 or 4:50 max. So I have a esteemed panelist with me. In fact, this group is much bigger than the larger group. So there is a tendency that we'll end up in speaking little more. Please bear with us. So, yes, thank you. Thanks for the assurance. Minu is ensuring that he'll keep it crisp, short, and precise. Right. So thank you so much. So my name is Nadeem Pasha. I head a global talent acquisition function working at RoboSoft. So I am moderating the session. So for us, the topic is winning the talent race in a borderless environment. So I just want to give a small keynote before we start. We as an organization was the first to practice vocal for local, right? So that was the vision our Prime Minister carried, and we are continuing with it. So we started 25 years back in a small place, tier 2, tier 3 place called Udupi, where RoboSoft formed. So challengingly, the sad part was that there was not much of engineering colleges, and once we have established engineering colleges, either NITE or Manipal or Sahyadri or few more colleges, what do the candidates do post completing their engineering, especially female candidates? Still being a traditional mindset, right? Parents never used to allow female candidates to go outside Mangalore or Udupi for a job opportunity, okay? Traveling all the way 400 kilometers. We are talking about a borderless world. 400 kilometers was something big that point of time, especially for female candidates who has completed engineering and wants to pursue their career, want to do something good and better in the life, right? That's where the visionary came in and started RoboSoft with 4 people in the year 2000. Now I am very happy and I take a lot of pride to tell you that 60% of our population in Udupi are females, okay? So that's the achievement we have had. And I'm equally happy to tell you the candidates are who joined initially as a software engineer or a QA engineer. They are still with us as a senior project manager or agile methodology expert, or some of them are senior program manager and senior engineering manager, especially female candidates. Okay, they have fulfilled their dreams, what they have seen 25 years back, and the legacy is still getting carried. Right. So keeping that context in mind, I am going to start the discussion to make it more exciting. So I am going to start the first question to my friend Manju. So in the future of talent, right, how the talent is grooming, is it easier for us to find the talent globally, or we need to build a global talent locally? What do you think about it?
Thank you, Nadeem. I think we need to focus on building the talent locally. I would give practical examples what we do in our company. I am from Toyota Susho. We are a brick and mortar company, primarily trading company. When we say Toyota, people think of Innova, Fortuner, all that. That's TKM, Toyota Kirloskar Motors. So we are from Toyota Susho. We have 22 group companies. For us, talent management is as a process, which includes talent mobility as well. So this is done as a process. We identify successors for each position, from the regional role to the division head, department head, until the group leader level. We identify successor and we map their career, whether it is short run of 3 years, 5 years, up to 10 years. This is reviewed by the management team and we focus on their development. This is one part of it. And the talent mobility across the group. So we identify capable candidates and we second them to different countries, be it Japan, be it Indonesia or Thailand. And also they learn Japanese. Without Japanese, they can't survive in Japan. So that's also a talent management, and they go for 2 years or 1 year's global secondment, and they come and stay with us, contribute us, and they take up higher roles. That is one part. Second part, as I mentioned, there is a job rotation. I don't call it as job rotation. It is much more than job rotation. Talent mobility from one group to the other group. Today, somebody may be in mobility. Tomorrow you would be sent to a group company, which is across, either it is in Vizag or some other company. So that's how we do the talent mobility as well. So both are hand in hand, this process goes. And we also take care of talent management in the group companies. This is driven by the management, not top-down, mainly top-down approach. So this is working for us very well. Our attrition rate is very less, and the employees, the stay is also very good for us. They are with us for a longer time. So that's how we concentrate on local talent development. So
Thank you so much. Thank you, Manju. So, Minu, you want to add something from your point of view?
From a product, I mean, I come from Adobe, which is largely product. And so from a product perspective, there are some numbers we need to know. One is India has got 450 million middle class people. That's 100 million more than the population of US, right? Often when we speak about India, we speak about our GDP per capita, and then we amalgamate it at 1.4 billion, and then we speak about consumption being low. But if you were to look at just that 450 million people who can actually afford for things, it's pretty high. India is going to be a matured market in maybe another 2 or 2.5 decades. You can't write that off, right? So as a product company, what I really look at is, how do I seed talent in India that learns the working of a product ecosystem in a mature market? But when I mature, I've got people who are ready to tap into the India market. I don't know if that makes sense, but hence build is very, very important. The second thing that you want to keep in mind is every country is moving towards being protectionistic and individualistic. And that is a trend that will continue, right? But every company needs to coexist, which means you have to work with another country and its people to really still bring in value. Now, if these two theorems are in place, how do I satisfy these two theorems? The only way that I could do this is by ensuring that I'm creating people in even every market that can do things which are largely broad stroke. So hence build becomes very important. I would want to argue that things are not borderless at the moment, right? The borders are becoming a little bit more defined if you look at it, right? Whether it's H-1B policy or whether it's any policy. I mean, America suddenly said they've got enough H-1Bs with them. They really don't need more, right? So you have a lot of those kind of things which really flow, and then working in the environment becomes very, very important. I think India has a lot of talent. I also believe the talent is not ready yet, right? And if there is anybody from universities, there's a lot of work to do in terms of getting them ready. But if you're getting all those things done, it will be great. So that is my assessment on things.
Thank you so much, Minu. You really touched upon geography has become a history. There is nothing like geography anymore.
The more things starts to change, the more things become how it was before.
Absolutely.
Right. So I think that philosophy continues.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Anybody wants to add any thing, or shall I move on to you, Sumit? Sumit, what does the winning talent race actually mean for you? Is it speed? Is it cost? Is it quality? Is it flexibility? What do you think? What is the main core crux of the game which you want to achieve?
Perfect. Thanks, Nadeem. I'll break this into two parts. First of all, we call it a race. Race is when everybody is moving towards the same goalpost. Are we? Which is a reality. All of us want same set of candidates, and hence the declines. When you look at LinkedIn, they would say millions of people have written open to work. When you talk to recruiters, their requisitions are aging for more than 60 days. Somewhere something is happening wrong. Meen also suggested, right? There is a lot of talent over here. Somewhere this race is not making sense. We are in that loop of multiple offers, multiple declines, but at the same time, there is not opportunity for all. How do we solve for it? That is one. Two is, you said speed, cost, quality, and what was the fourth part?
Flexibility.
Flexibility. Trust me, there is no or in between. You talk to your hiring manager, they will say, Sumit, we've hired you to give me all of these four. And it is speed and cost and quality and flexibility. That is non-negotiable now. And now they will start throwing on AI tools on you. Oh, now this tool has come. You should do it in 10 days. I mean, which is being said, but is it the reality? Now, how do we win this race? I think the word which I take away from what Mino said is right, build. First of all, companies have to start thinking deeply about their hiring mix, right? Which is your build versus buy strategy. Build becomes very important. Now, build is further into two parts. One is the internal talent you want to groom, right? There has to be a proper plan. Succession planning used to happen for the senior roles, but now there has to be a plan for junior roles as well. The other part of the build is your university hiring, where you build, nurture talent right from day one and they become your future leaders. That is something which, because buy will always be a market, right? Nobody is ever going to be satisfied with the buy part of it. So that good balance of build and buy is very important. Secondly, more we get into this race sort of a culture, we have to define what does right talent mean for us, not the best talent. We have been chasing best talent, right? Even we went to IITs, we were also chasing day ones. Everybody wants day zeros, day ones. Everybody wants the best candidate of the company. But a great sales guy or a great engineer in X company might not be a right fit for a fast growth or a 0 to 1 or a 1 to 10 company. Those nuances are becoming very important these days. Because like we all agree, there is no point running after a candidate who will say no on the 89th day, which is T-1 on the day of joining, which is a pain for everybody. So having that right hiring mix and to that right persona you want to hire as an organization, what works for you, what is the right talent. These are the couple of things which would be the agility part of it. Having said that, your speed, cost, they are non-negotiable. We have to. That is our TA recruiter fraternity's job to ensure we are doing all of it. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Sumit. Sumit really touched upon one key point. Attract the right talent rather than the best talent, right? Go for the right talent and groom the talent. Awesome, Sumit. Thank you so much for that point. I just want to check with Manas. Manas, would you like to add anything on this?
Well, yeah. See, I think many of them spoke about, I'll just give you, if you allow me in just a couple of minutes, I'll just share the context. See, today, talent is something which, is global. A talent who is a high performer, who is competitive, he is looking at a culture, thriving culture where he can really thrive. So to build leave aside the race, I think some of the companies like the company that I belong to, TTK Prestige, we don't do much of global talent hiring at this stage. But some of the companies that I have been associated with in the past, where we used to hire global talent. So the point that while many of them spoke about hiring talent, I think how do you retain this talent? That's important because, if your hiring and retention strategy both don't work together, then what will happen is that you will keep hiring and then there will be a leakage on the other side. So I think it's extremely important is that we need to build our talent strategies focused on retention as much as hiring. Now, how do you go about doing it? So I think that's where, I was just listening to the previous speaker, I'm not here, the couple of sessions back, the lady from Biocon, she spoke about culture. I think building a cohesive culture is an important element in terms of retaining people, whether it is a global talent or a local talent. We in India, I think maybe the tech sector, the IT sector probably is geared up for that, but maybe the non-IT sector, which is manufacturing or like the sector that I belong to is consumer durables, we are slowly picking up. So building a cohesive culture where there is a shared purpose, there is a shared values, and the communication. These are three important things in terms of building a positive, inclusive culture. For example, I was working with a company earlier, and I'll just share that insight with you. We used to have this annual awards function wherein we used to, and this is a global corporation that I used to work with, so where we used to get approximately about 300, 400 people for an annual awards night. So which means all the group companies around the world need to have a unified employee experience. It was part of the culture. So how, if you want to build a culture which is cohesive one, people around the world, wherever the talent is, they need to have a unified experience. Similarly, like this is all we live for a purpose. If the companies, how they define the purpose is an important element of culture or shared values. So I think as part of the retention plan, if the companies can focus on building a culture, or rather focus on building a culture which is focused on or which is linked to a retention strategy, I think as much as you focus on hiring, the focus has to be on retention strategy.
Thank you, Manas. Awesome. Extremely put across in a nice way. He just spoke about two things. One is culture, second is retention. And both are directly proportional to each other. You build a culture, you have your own retention plan taken place, right? So have that value system in place. Make sure that the culture will take care of the retention, well-being, shared values. All those parameters will be taken care automatically. Please, yeah. Please go ahead, Manju.
I have a comment on buy versus build.
Okay, please go ahead.
Buy may be easy, but it comes with cost. But build will take time. The companies have to invest on that. But look at the talent. The talent who has bought in buy process might leave the company, but the build process, they will stay with the company for a longer time because their career has shaped with this company. They would have undergone many positions, many roles. So we need to, companies need to concentrate building the talent management.
So I have a question now for Joseph. So Joseph 10 has come now. So Joseph, for you, just to give a bigger perspective to the audience, is the real shortage of lack of talent or a lack of reskilled talent? What is the main challenge? Who is responsible for closing that gap? Right? Many times we say companies are responsible. Sometimes we say government is responsible. Universities and colleges are responsible. And we as a HR domain people are responsible. Who is responsible for real shortage or lack of talent, or ensuring that reskilling of talent is taken care?
I'll try not to make this political, but I'll keep to myself. Yeah.
Thank you.
I just have a confession to make, right? I don't know if Snigdha is here, but I almost gave her a heart attack this morning because I thought I might not be able to join. That's because we are in the flavor of the year-end reviews at our organization. They say it's the season to be jolly. For us, it's the season to judge. That's where we are right now. But why I stated that is, I was looking at my own appraisal for the last 1 year. Start of the year, I had huge stories to talk about how generative AI will take over the world. And I built a plan. I'm part of leadership development, so my role is to build that capability. So we were going after generative AI. The H2 appraisal document of mine did not mention anything about generative AI. It spoke about agentic AI. And I was very, proud of what I have done. This morning, I met a friend of mine who leads leadership development in a different organization back in Hyderabad. And he was like, agentic? You haven't heard of autonomous? You haven't heard of, super agents? You have not heard about synthetic intelligence, SI? And I was like, okay, my bubble just burst because there goes my appraisal. But why I mentioned that is I don't think it's a talent issue. I seriously don't think it's a talent issue. It's purely a skill issue. It's about, how do you get people to know what's coming their way? The organization's role, that is, or HR, or whoever picks up the responsibility. How do you get the organization and the people to know what is coming their way and start the skilling process already? In simple terms, they talk about workforce analytics and talent metrics and all of that. These are fashionable words to throw around. Somebody once told me, if I cannot explain something in one line, it means you have not understood it well enough. And so when I looked at that whole detail, it just came back to one point. If the organization and its employees can see what is coming around the bend, and you can build your skills towards that, then talent is not the issue. It is about skilling and reskilling. and how do organizations just pave the path for that. That is essentially where it landed. And I thought that was very powerful because I don't think there's anybody in the room here who started their career in one line and has continued without developing any skills only in that line. Anybody here? I don't think so. Right? I mean, I was a pure play facilitator. Now I do everything other than facilitation. Okay? Skilling had to happen, and it will happen. I think that's where the challenge is. And I think we spoke about the culture for that, the need to build that culture. I think we speak about borderless workforce. A borderless workforce without a global borderless culture is just a global borderless problem to have. And if that culture does not support that whole skilling process, I don't think any kind of talent is going to help, global or otherwise.
Awesome.
Now, the challenge of who's going to fix it, that's where it gets political, right? But see, I just believe that the government can create an ecosystem that's relevant. It creates the ecosystem for it. Universities can create the foundations for it. But I think the corporate world has a lot to play in real-time skill building. And unless these three parts of the jigsaw puzzle doesn't come together, I don't think India will continue to have that competitive advantage that we enjoy, right? So it is an equal part to play, all these three groups. The government to create that ecosystem, the universities to create the foundation for it, and for corporates to ensure that, real-time development is happening. And I read this quote somewhere, right? No organization has the element or has got the flavor of competitive advantage anymore. There's nothing called competitive advantage anymore. The only competitive advantage that an organization has is the speed to learning. That's all. The speed to skilling is the only competitive advantage that any organization has today because of the speed at which things are changing. So I think it's purely a skilling thing, and I think talent is a different problem altogether.
Thank you so much, Joseph. It is extremely well articulated, very professionally sounded with loads of experience in it, right? So it's not a skill issue, it's a will issue, right? It's a will issue is what he has told. Talent is not a challenge. Talent is already there. Talent is available. Talent is willing to do, but it's all about how are we nurturing the talent and how are we making it happen. Thank you, Joseph, for putting across a light. Anybody wants to add anything?
I would like to.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead, Manju. Yeah.
I believe governments are doing their fair work because starting from the establishing IITs, NITs, IIM, funding this, we can't expect much more from government because they have a lot other things to do. The main responsibility lies with the companies. So just to give you what we are doing in Toyota Susho, even though in a smaller manner, we have something called TNTC, Toyota Susho MTT of Technical Center in Gujarat. This was established when our Prime Minister visited Japan, when the treaty was signed between the then Japanese Prime Minister, Mr. Abe. So we wanted to contribute to skilling up of the weaker section of the Gujarat. We established a technical institute wherein we train the economically backward students. We pick up from a nook and corner of the Gujarat. We train roughly 80 students in a year, 40 per batch. We have tied up with Gujarat Technical University. We give them the 3 years diploma. It is called as Learn and Earn Diploma. This day they join the course. 6 months is the theory class. Then they are deputed to 5 days on-the-job training to a partnering industry in and around the industrial estate. We have tied up with around 10 companies. Primarily, most of them are from Japan, Japanese companies. And one day they attend the class here in our institute and they pass out with technical diploma. The reason why we started this initiative is we wanted to support the in and around the group companies so that they get the skilled manpower rather than just recruiting diploma and ITI from fresh out of college. This is what we started. And I also know that based on my experience, lot of automotive companies, they are doing this kind of initiatives, tying up with NTTF, other institutes, and primarily getting skilled manpower for their necessity. The other one I would like to give example is, in Biddi we have something called TTI, Toyota Susho Technical Institute, which trains at least 200 candidates per year, mainly to take care of their manpower requirement and also to support other group companies. So this is I don't know whether any engineering big IT companies can focus on this, I'm not sure. At least in the manufacturing sector, this is happening.
Thank you so much, Manju. I am extremely happy to hear there is something which is happening in a local place and engineers are getting trained in Biddi and creating a lot of local opportunities. So awesome protocol.
Just
Go ahead,
take
Sumit.
1 minute, the skill versus will, which Mino touched upon. How many of us have Geo Hotstar paid subscription? Show of hands. Have paid subscription of ChatGPT? Anybody has Replit Cloud Lovable? Right. Exactly the point, right? Point is the entire ecosystem. Now YouTube emerged as the biggest university during COVID. Now we have personal EAs, coders, agents sitting in our cell phone in the form of a GPT or a NA10 or Replit, right? Idea is, how do we change that mindset that we start learning ourselves? Nobody is going to come, neither the universities nor the college. The tools are there for our access. And that's what, I mean, in our organization, that is one of the cultures which our founders purely believe in. The first AI hackathon which happened in Razorpay was done by the leadership group. All 60 odd leaders they were given a task to participate in a hackathon. For 2 days, they were locked in a room. Everybody built their own apps themselves. Experiment, you learn, and that's how you furnish. So that is what I feel when we talk about skill and talent, right? No, koi nahi aa raha karne. It is about how we have to take responsibility, use that device in our pocket and start working on it.
Thank you.
Which is, I mean, see, India has a problem on IT. I mean, we can't run away from that. I mean, India has largely been a knowledge economy and never been an experience economy. And knowledge cost has come down significantly, right? So, for example, I can have goods and services to do what a person does in India at a cost which is like fractional to it. Which means my IT services company will start to face the brunt of it. Whether today or very close future, it will happen. Like, somebody said, agentic, right? Somebody said autonomous. Ye sab aayega, dikkat hoga. And our ability to pivot away from that is not great. So I think government needs to start to look at that, right? The second is, what kind of problems are we giving our people to solve? We cannot be endlessly running after problems on apps which are productivity issues. Right? We also need to migrate away from productivity and elevate ourselves into creativity and other spaces. Right? We are right now solving for how can I get something which was delivered in 15 minutes and now in 12 minutes, etc. I mean, theek hai. I mean, there's a place for that. Right? But we need to graduate, otherwise our people will not think. Our universities need to think about teaching very differently. I don't think we are paying our teachers right. I really don't think we're putting in the right amount of money for getting people right there, right? We don't need 15 lakh engineers a year. Let's be real. Because half the people are right now doing delivery jobs, right? We really need to go back, and there is a place for university, there's a place for government, there's a place for corporate. But I think all these three things need to be orchestrated along with the will of people. See, nothing has changed. For example, 5 years back, a coder would go to Google and write and say, give me a code for this, and get a verified code and put it in and put a modular code into it. Abhi banda GPT mein jaake karta hai, right? See, we are jugadus. We know exactly how to do it. So I don't really, I would for one know that we all know how to find a way to solve things, right? But it's about solving things, and how as corporate can I give my people jobs that are truly meaty, that elevate the game? How can the government put the right... I really like it when US says, I want to create a wall around AI as it relates to infra, as it relates to everything, right? I mean, they're doing something. I think we got to start thinking a little bit in that direction. Otherwise, we would lose this battle very quickly.
Got it, Minu. So Snigdha is showing me time off, so it's just 1.5 minutes left. So yeah, we are on time. So from what I realized is there are a lot of distractions surrounding you. So you need to remove this to bring traction, right? Remove this from distraction to come back to traction. Remove TR to come back to action. So it's a time for us to take an action. And again, it all depends on 3 parameters. It's 3I principle, which I fundamentally believe. What am I doing to bring the change, right? Rather than asking my co-panelist, am I responsible? It's me. It's I. I have to stand tall and take that responsibility. That is me, I, right? Then with I, then another I comes, which is intent. What is my intent behind doing this? My intent is going to create some harmony, create some opportunities, create some learning platform, create some ideas. Why not, right? My intent is very important. If I take care of this first two I, third I is already met, which is the impact, right? So I, intent, impact plays a very important role. And as long as I am putting myself in that shoes and I am able to deliver certain things, I think wonderfully we will be able to do things better, right? So I'm done. Maybe over to any questions. Anybody has any questions? We are on time. Yeah, Snigdha, we are on time. Yeah, absolutely. Couple of questions, one or two questions from anybody? Only one question, is it? Okay. There also we have restrictions, but we are available outside in case you want to catch up individually to any one of us. Yeah, we'll be more than happy to answer.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, like anybody can take this. How are we actually, building talent within the organization for a very non-linear tomorrow? Not even future, tomorrow, because we keep talking Bani and we say we do not know how things are evolving and the kind of disruption around. What kind of talent strategies are we looking at for building, talent in-house, preparing them for a non-linear tomorrow? It can be a non-linear competition for the business. It can be anything non-linear which can disrupt the business tomorrow.
Shall I? Right. I think it's a good question. And it will vary from company to company. Firstly, the company need to define its purpose, right? All of us are into profits. No private player is into charity. What is important is that to define a long-term vision and long-term purpose, and then see that how people are aligned with it. And then hence, once you see that people are aligned into it, how do you make people aligned into it? As one of the areas would be in terms of investing on their skill building, which I think Joseph alluded to. So the point here is the investments has to be coherent with your business strategy. I'm talking about the talent investments. In terms of what are the skill sets that you are going to hire in future? For example, my company at this point of time is looking at a lot of innovation and R&D talent, right? So because it is in sync with the business goals for the next 5 to 10 years. So hence, if you are looking at that talent, then you need to really invest in the skill building in that talent. Now, there's another element to it. I come from a manufacturing sector. We are planning to set up global manufacturing units. That's a business strategy for future again. That's the purpose, So hence, we need to do a gap analysis today, which we have been doing, is in terms of our manufacturing ecosystem today that we have. Is it competitive or does it need to be invested further in the skill building? So I think hence you need to look at in terms of Industry 4.0 or IoT, etc., or digital manufacturing systems, etc. So all that you need to do is that aligning your talent strategy and skill building, upskilling is part of that, is a subset of that talent strategy. So it has to be in sync with the business strategy. If you will be able to define, business strategies are all well made. I don't think anyone would disagree with me here that business strategy, there is a fluidic business strategy in any company. Business strategies are always absolutely robust. But the point is that, and that's where HR comes in place, in terms of building a talent strategy which is in sync with the business strategy. And then the subset which is skilling up, in terms of where do you want to invest in your people. For example, I don't mind today hiring a talent, a global talent from an XYZ country for my innovation and R&D. The person can sit elsewhere and can do my innovation and R&D today, So the whole talent strategy is actually revolve around your business strategy. If that purpose is clear as a business, and hence you can work around this. I hope I have answered your question.
Just adding very quickly in terms of your unlock, which gives you non-linear returns, is very clearly around build on curiosity, build on people with VC mindset, which means I'm not tethered to something. I try, fail, I leave, I go to the next thing. right? If you find people with these two skills, which is very hard, which can only come if you have intellectual humility, if you have these two things, if you can build on that, your talent will actually serve you for a very, very long time. If it's not there, then I think it will not, is my read on.
Yeah. Curiosity, fail fast. Get up fast, run fast. Right? Absolutely. Anything you? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just give an example from our organization, maybe adding on to Manus what you mentioned, right? The strategy of what's going to be in the future will change. That much we know, because what we build today will not be required tomorrow, or something else might come in. But what the organization is doing is that what we are seeing around the bend, we are making that option for learning available to the associates. We are talking about it, we are promoting it, we are advertising it, and we are pushing it down. In fact, the whole thing about building apps and, chasing productivity, even that, while there's a lot of conversation happening around it, there's not too much action happening around building those skills. So what the organization did was they just made available free tools to all the 350,000 employees and told them, play with it. You've got 2 weeks, free licenses, play with it. You build what you want. The outcome of that, we are in the Guinness Book of World Records. Okay, because we use so many platforms to build out apps. I don't know, some around 200,000 people participated in it, some 50,000 use cases came out. But who knows, maybe 2 months from now, we don't need that skill anymore. Doesn't matter, right? The point is, something is coming. If the organization knows something is coming, if HR believes that this is going to be a game changer, get your people ready. Doesn't matter if it's linear, perpendicular, or any of those mathematical.
Yeah. Right? So stay fearless is what he's saying. Yeah. Just go grab the opportunity and you will win the world. Correct, right? Thank you. I think we are done. Thank you so much. Thank you, Manju. Thank you, Sumit. Thank you, Manas and Minu, as well as Joseph. Thanks for your time. Awesome.